Kane is in the building.
Hi guys, I just want to apologise because as I'm editing this video, I've realised that the focus is entirely out. So rather than doing the video all over again, I'm still going to post it anyway. Your best bet is probably just to listen to it while you're driving or just not watch. Just listen to the information, hopefully it will help you, and I'll ensure that moving forward that the focus is a little better, because I'm new to YouTube, so I'm new to doing all these kind of things, so I'll only improve, and I'll hope that you can watch my progress as it goes through. But hope the video helps guys anyway, and if you have any questions then please ask. Hi guys, so if you're a member on my website, you'll probably recognise this back wall and this is setup here that we're basically in at the moment, but I'm basically going to use this in my YouTube channel. This is basically, I'm starting off now. I'm setting this channel up just to try and, there's so much information nowadays around that where people are almost becoming paralysed, and I know someone who from first-hand experience has followed these revolutionary plans that have been blasted all over social media, and these articles and studies that are suggesting that this supplement can be the game changer, and then I've basically fallen down, made all the mistakes that people shouldn't make when they fall for these false marketing claims. So I just basically want to be someone who offers the content that you need to see and the essential things that you need with regards to training and diet to make the progress that you want to make. So if you're someone who follows my content already on my emails, on social media, on Instagram stories, you'll notice that I've got like a no bullshit approach to training and diet. I don't do things that I don't deem necessary. I do things the most efficient and the possible, basically. So I'm not pro any kind of camp. I have my ways of doing things like everyone, but I'm not so narrow-minded to think there's only one way to get in shape, as I know that everything works. It's just a case of executing it and performing things the right way consistently. So hopefully this channel will give you better insight into how to go about your training, how to go about eating, and how to get the results that you want to get. So I want to make this channel as user friendly as possible, and obviously I want people to view this and enjoy the content and get something out of it. So if you're somebody who wants to see a certain type of content and certain type of questions answered, then please email me or put a comment below, as I want to try and cater this content and these videos based on what you want to see as the viewer. So the first two videos I'm going to do is going to be on how to set up your training and how to set up your diet. So I'll go into these two separate videos, and then hopefully this will be a great starting point for you to really get stuck into. So obviously we're just moving into 2017 and everyone's embarking on like a new diet or a new training plan or a new regime to try and get the best results and get into the best shape they've been in their life. So, and so far I've had so much positive feedback and so much positivity from social media, from emails, from people that are looking to really get in shape this year, and it's got me excited. So I've thought that I'm going to do these videos, put these together, and especially after last night I watched the TV programme How to Lose Weight Well. Now if you've watched this, then you're not somebody who's hugely been influenced by someone who knows what they're doing in the industry, in the fitness industry, or someone who knows what they're doing with nutrition and training, then you're probably thinking, what the fuck was that I've just watched? It's basically what they've done is they've put a list of, well, they basically found every elimination diet the planet has to offer, and they're putting people on these diets. Like for example, they put someone on a bone diet or some kind of, it was ridiculous. And then there's someone else on an Asian only diet. Like all of these diets are simply a means to an end. So you don't need to follow an elimination style diet to get the results you want with fat loss. Nor do you need to be on a Weight Watchers plan, nor do you need to be doing any of these plans, because effectively all they're doing, each and every single one of these plans, is they're finding a way for you to get into an energy deficit, because this is what's making you lose weight, not the actual elimination of the bad food that you're currently taking out. So there's no such thing as bad foods. The only thing there is bad diets. And now a bad diet will be something that's unsustainable. So extreme diets are not something I'm ever going to recommend on this YouTube channel. But hopefully I can share some good information with you, I hope to have as much interaction with my audience as possible. So if you are someone who wants to ask questions, then please do, because you'll lose so much time not making the progress that you want to make because you're not sure what to be doing. You're paralysed by all this information that's been posted around. Now, and a lot of people post content on social media, so there's personal training as a job has gone through the roof. Everyone wants to be a PT at the minute. And everyone's fighting against each other to get clients, but the reality is there's no need to fight, because there's very few PTs that are actually any good, and there's very few, and the amount of people that need help is huge. Okay, so this is how I want you to set up your training. What you're going to do is I want you to train every other day. So the most optimal probably training per week would be, the amount of times to go to the gym per week would probably be 4. But if we split these 4 sessions up over 8 days, this way we ensure that you're going to recover in between sessions. As a new trainer, as a beginner, your recovery will be pretty quick. So you're gonna feel beaten up initially. The first week or so of training muscles that you haven't trained before is going to leave you pretty sore. But generally speaking, after this, you'll recover really quickly from sessions, and your body will adapt really fast to what you're doing. So using an every other day approach would be the most advantageous with regards to training frequency. Now, what we need to ensure is, and what we need to take advantage of, is these beginner gains that you can potentially be getting. So even if you're not a beginner, this video is relevant because most people don't train right. Most people haven't maxed out their ability to train as hard as they can. So, and you're doing things in the gym that are inefficient. Now, what I want this channel to be about is efficiency across the board. So doing the right things in the gym, doing the right things with your diet, and getting the results that you want. This is what I want it to be about. So what I want you to do with your training is I want you to either follow a full body approach where you don't train muscles once a week, because this is one of the biggest mistakes people make as a beginner, because you've got such a great opportunity to improve and get big really quick. Now, by training more often, it poses so many more benefits, and training more frequently poses so many more benefits than a training once a week approach, because your body's ready to absorb all this new stimulus effectively, because you haven't trained before. So, and the more often you do something, the better you're going to get it as well. And the better you get it, the bigger you're going to get. And this is the results obviously that you want. Now, and this applies to females as well. Obviously you're not going to get big, but you're going to get the drop in body fat that you want, and you're going to increase your lean muscle tissue, which is going to make you look the way you want to look. So this is the approach that I would take. I would use a progressive overload approach, whereby your focus is just to get stronger. So we want to be as efficient as possible, but we also want to be strong. So we want to develop our strength in our main compound movements. We want to use a kind of like an 8 and 12 rep range. So my advice would be to hit 2 working sets of all your exercises that you do. And I would say initially we'll do 8 exercises per session. So this will probably be like an 8 to 12 week program that you can start off with, that you can build yourself and that you can begin with. And I want you to choose 8 exercises per session. This is how it basically would look like a little bit. So you would do 2 exercises for legs. I'd probably make it a quad movement first, so for example a back squat, and then maybe a hamstring movement next. So that would be 2 sets of back squats, and then 2 sets of stiff leg deadlifts. This will then be 4 sets of legs. That will then, we're going to move into a push exercise, so barbell bench press for 2 sets. Of all of these exercises, you're doing 8 reps, then you're resting, and you're doing 12 reps, and you're going to log your lifts. And then what we're going to do is progressively get stronger over time. After your bench press, you'll then move into a pull movement, or you can probably stick with push, and we can do 2 push movements, and we'll move into a shoulder press movement. So probably hit a dumbbell shoulder press for 2 sets, again 8 and 12. And then you've got 4 exercises, and then I'd hit a lat pull down or a pull up variation for 2 sets. And then I'd move into a row variation, so you get a vertical and horizontal pull. And then you want to either use a seated row or a barbell bent over row or a dumbbell row. There's so many variations that you can do. 2 sets of that, and then you've got, I think is that 5 or 6 or 7 exercises. And then you basically could do a tricep exercise, which would be an arrow grip press or a dip. It's always compounded. This is always going to be the main focus. And then after that, you can probably introduce some isolation exercises, some standing side dumbbell lateral raises, and so on and so on. And then basically you create 1 rotation. That is basically 1 of your rotations. This would be your session you do every 8th day. So every 8 days you start your new program, because you do 4 sessions every other day. So then you're basically, in 8 days time, you'll do that same session again and you'll beat it. And the next time you go into the gym, you'll do exactly the same as what you did in the first session. However, you will vary every exercise based on the same muscle group, but we vary the exercise. So for example, if you were going to do a back squat, your exercise would be a leg press. If you were going to do a stiff leg deadlift, your exercise would be a line and leg curl. If you were going to do a bench press, it would be a dumbbell incline press, for example. If you were going to do a shoulder press with dumbbells, you would then move to a shoulder press with a machine or with cables or with a barbell or a seated barbell press or a Smith machine shoulder press. And if you were going to do a lat pull down, you would then move into an under grip lat pull down or a wide grip chin up or an assisted pull up or a V-bar pull down, something that's a pull down from above, and then you move into your seated row with swap for a barbell bent over row or a dumbbell dual bent over row. And then you swap your tricep narrow grip press for a dip, also do one or the other. And then once you've hit them 2 sessions, the tricep exercise after that would be a skull crusher or a tricep dumbbell French press, and it would basically look like that. Your sessions, you'd have 4 sessions per week or per 8 days, and they would all be all body sessions. If you went down the upper lower approach, then it would literally be a case of day 1's upper, day 3's lower, day 5 is upper again, then day 7 is lower again. So you do every other day, you do upper lower, upper lower. Now this would be just as efficient, but you enable yourself to get more volume in these sessions rather than doing them. So you bring down the frequency, so you half the frequency, but you double the volume effectively. But across the whole week, it would still be the same. So if you imagine that you're doing, with an upper lower approach, let's say you do 8 sets per 8 working sets for your legs, which as a beginner, if you do it right, then this is going to be enough. So over 2 workouts, you'd get 16 working sets of legs per week. If you do that over 2 sessions, that's what you get. If you do 4 sets over 4 sessions, then you'll get 16 sets as well. So the total volume is still the same. What we're not doing is we're not putting all of our sets into one leg session, because not only do we lose the benefits of maximising muscle protein synthesis by training more frequently, we also develop a skill to perform these movements better and better every time we do them. So the more often you do something, the better you're going to get, right? So this is why we do it more frequently. And there's so many more reasons as well to train in all body and upper lower splits predominantly over and against a program that would be single body part splits. Now, these are only really efficient for bodybuilders who have already got really, really big, and essentially all they're doing now is using as much volume as possible in one session to try and get the growth that they need to get. But you're not a bodybuilder, you're not someone who needs to be doing this kind of training. So you need to basically do what's best for you and where you're at now. And generally speaking, most people would suit best and would benefit most from a upper lower approach or from an all body split. Or a push pull leg split would be okay, but again, you're in a position where you're learning how to train. So it's best to learn and to do things frequently. And then once you get to a point where you've done maybe 12, 16 weeks on this type of plan, then you can introduce other things and other stimuluses, and this way you can keep making progress. Whereas if you use all of your tools in the beginning phase, then you lose the ability to make changes, and then you hit plateaus and you don't have nothing to use to break through it. So for example, we haven't even mentioned a superset yet, or a giant set, or high volume training, or muscle rounds, or rest pause sets. All of these things are key things that we can introduce into a plan, which I'll use in these YouTube videos, and I'll talk to you about in another video. But essentially your training plan is going to look like I've just explained. So, and your goal is to go into the gym with your logbook, and you're going to log all of your lifts. And then what we're going to do is we're going to basically get as strong as we can, as fast as we can, but we don't ever sacrifice form. So what every lift has to have is a 3-second eccentric phase. So on the way down, as this is proven to be the best way to build muscle. So be efficient with eccentric loading. So basically, for example, in a back squat, on the way down, you're going to go 1, 2, 3 seconds down. From the bottom of the hole, there'll be no pause in any of the movements, not at this stage. What we're aiming to do at the bottom of the exercise is to be as explosive as possible on the concentric phase, which is the upward phase. Now, so this is going to be the bottom of the squat, and then you're going to drive up as fast and as hard as you can. this is going to recruit the maximum amount of muscle fibers. And if you vary your rep ranges from 8 to 12, you're also going to hit type 1 and type 2 fibers when you're doing this. So you're getting the best buck of everything. So you're doing the most efficient way to build muscle in an initial stage. You don't even need to think about doing sets that are any more than 12 or any less than 8 at this stage. 1 rep max testing isn't required. You don't need to be doing that. The only way you're going to measure how strong you are for 8 reps is by doing it. And then you get an idea of where you're starting at, and then you'll just keep making progress. And when it gets to a point when you stop making progress and your lift stall, this is when we then move into the other programs that I've talked about, or we introduce a different type of diet and recovery system, and we adjust your training volume and frequency to ensure that you keep making progress with your lift progressions. So I hope that gives you a better idea of where to start with your training and how to train moving into 2017, and the misinformation that's been plastered around that you need to be doing things a certain way. My advice would be to follow an upper lower or a all body approach initially as a beginner, or as someone who is yet to make the progress that they want to make. So if you're someone who knows you've got lots more progress in you to make, then draw things back and make them as simple as possible, and just get good at doing the basics very well and be consistent. Now, I will talk about the diet in a separate video, and then if you can basically combine what I've spoken about in this training video with what I speak about in the diet video, then your results are going to be fucking really good, and you can expect big changes. Like in a 3-month period, I did a Facebook post yesterday about this. You can drop a considerable amount of body fat and build a lot of muscle in this initial phase, and it's really important that you make sure that you take full advantage of this really anabolic time you have as a beginner, because you won't get a period in your training where you get results as fast as this ever again. So you need to really make sure that you do things the most efficient way possible, and you push as hard as you can in this phase, because your body is ready to adapt really, really fast. So it's really exciting. And if you have any questions on this, or if you would like to see like a template plan, for example, then let me know, and I can always send something your way, and I'd love to help out. So any questions, please ask, guys, and I hope this helps. Cheers.
Kane is in the building.